Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to take you back to the 90s. So in today's video, I thought it would be fun if we could go back to the 90s and find all of those most iconic fragrances for men from the 1990s. There's going to be a ton of iconic fragrances that I mention and talk about today. What I want you to do, I want this to be more of an interactive journey with me. I want you to comment below some of your favorite fragrances of the 90s. And if you're a young guy, young girl who is watching this video, go ahead and talk about some of the ones that you have discovered from the 90s. You know 90s is trending, you know 90s is popular, you know everything is all the rage of the 90s right now. And so let's take a journey back into time and let's talk about these fragrances. I have to mention this particular fragrance because it was so iconic, it was so relevant of the 90s. This one here launched in 1988 and it is none other than Davidoff Cool Water. I know many of you know this fragrance, and if you have not experienced this blue fragrance before, it is a nice, fresh, and aromatic marine type fragrance. With this one here, like I said, it launched in 1988, but at the sales counter, this was one hot product. This was one particular fragrance that we could not keep in stock. There was no way we could keep it in stock, and I mention it to you now because it is still relevant today. A lot of fragrances today, you know, as fragrance collectors, we can keep this in our collection. We can go back and reminisce and have that special memory come back to us. That's what I love about fragrances so much. When you put on a fragrance, it takes you back to a moment in time. It could take you back to your first crush. It could take you back to your first job. It could take you back to your first experience. So let me tell you about Cool Water. Cool Water is aromatic, it's green. It has that marine and fresh spicy scent to it. And what I love about this one here, it has a touch of lavender that just makes it calming and soothing to anyone who gets near you, to the person who's wearing it. This also has a woody and salty note to it. It was considered more of a men's fragrance. I worked in the men's fragrance department. It was something that was sold in the men's fragrance department. But let me tell you, I had customers, and I had customers back in the 90s who are female, who are women who are coming in and purchasing this for themselves. Why? Because it's light. Why? Because it's airy, it's calm. It has that casual, sweet beach vibe mode. That's why it was a top seller. You had to understand, if you were there, we could not keep this on the shelf. We could not keep this in stock. And so this one here is Davidoff Cool Water. That is 1988, but still relevant and hot selling in the 90s. All right, let's go ahead and move on to 1990, and none other than, you remember the ads. Calvin Klein was hot. Calvin Klein was all about their ads in their undies, right? You remember that sexy model? How could you forget? So this one here is Eternity, and in 1990, Eternity came out, and this fragrance is still relevant today. This fragrance is still one of the top selling fragrances from the designer market, right? From the designer fragrances, Eternity is still a classic. Eternity is still a staple. Eternity is still something that is relevant. And I guarantee you, many of you still have it in your collection. And why wouldn't you? It is aromatic, it's citrus, it's fresh, it's spicy. It's very similar in the notes and the main accords, but it's different in the notes. This one is a white floral and it's herbal. Let me talk to you about, and you know my channel, I like to educate you. I'm not an influencer, I'm an educator. I'm not here to tell you to push products to go out and buy everything that I'm showing you today. That's not who I am. I'm an educator. So I'm going to take you through the notes. I'm going to take you through the different types of experiences that I recommend that you wear these particular fragrances, but you do you. You go with what you want and you wear what you want when you want it. Now, but like I said, I'm not an influencer. I am an educator. So I'm going to tell you the top notes, the middle notes, the base notes. I'm going to talk to you about the main accords so that you are educated, so that you can decide for yourself whether this is something that you would like in your collection. It is classic. It is beautiful. It is not going to offend anyone. This is office safe. This is blind buy safe. This is something that you can get and wear year round. This is a signature fragrance. This is classic. This is undeniably eternity for men. All right. In the top notes, you have lavender, lemon, bergamot, and mandarin orange. In the middle notes, you have sage, juniper berries, basil, geranium, coriander, orange blossom, lily, lily of the valley. And in the base notes, sandalwood, vetiver, musk, Brazilian rosewood, and amber. Now, let me tell you, Calvin Klein, they push the boundaries. And so for eternity, I can see many women wearing this today. This would be considered, I think, universal. I don't see a gender. I don't feel or experience a gender. I think that's more unisex. Now, like I said, anytime you put a fragrance on your body, it's going to change. How the fragrance smells on me, and let's say it's particularly marketed towards the men, and how it smells on you, the gentlemen who are watching me today, we're going to have a different experience. It's going to share and wear on me differently than it will on you. So don't shy away if you are a female and you want to experience other types of scents other than those heightened florals, those extremely aromatic, deep floral fragrances. If that's not you, then try some of these fragrances that we have here that are still relevant and present, and they make you feel good. All right, so in 1990, we have Eternity by Calvin Klein. This is an iconic fragrance. It's absolutely a staple in many people's collection today. And why wouldn't it be? It is classic. It is signature scent worthy. Let's move on to 1991. Let's see if you can remember what happened in 1991. In 1991, this fragrance came out. Now, this is a gorgeous, masculine, sophisticated, alluring type fragrance. This is Boucheron, and the variation that I prefer is Boucheron EDP. This one is the EDT. Now, for my viewers that are in the 30s, 20s, you might prefer this one a little bit more than the EDP. The EDP is a little bit richer and heavier. Now, we always talk about age, and I know people are asking me in the comment section, what do you recommend for me? I'm age 45. This is where I work. This is what I would like to do. In my opinion, fragrances don't have an age, okay? If I could tell you my age, I don't know. Maybe you'll believe it. Maybe you'll be shocked. Maybe I don't. Maybe I look older than I am. But I feel like that's just a number. You have to live life how you want to live it and what makes you happy. Life is too short. You do what you want to do. You wear what you want to wear, and don't let anyone else deter that from you, unless it's someone like your wife or somebody so significant to you that they might have a little bit of an edge over you. All right, so back to Boucheron. Boucheron came out and was launched in 1991. And this particular fragrance, like I was talking to you about, the EDT is lighter and not as rich and deep as the EDP. Now, for me, I always recommend for some of these fragrances, and this is one of those fragrances that I would do this for. The EDT I would wear in your hotter months. The EDP, I would wear in the cooler months, depending on your environment and where you live. Let's talk about the EDT here for Boucheron that came out in 1991. This is citrus, aromatic, woody, amber, fresh, spicy, earthy, warm, spicy, floral, white floral, and powdery. Like I said, I favor the EDT, but that is just me. I prefer that depth and richness that you get from the EDP. Okay, I'm telling you, the 90s are trending now, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of you wearing a fragrance that launched back in the 80s, that launched back in the 70s, that launched back in the 90s. There is nothing wrong with that. If you can still get yourselves on a bottle of these fragrances, do it, because a lot of these fragrances are high quality, beautiful scents, and they transcend you. As I take a whiff of this, as I smell this, and I bring it close to me, I have memories that I'm thinking about right now. And with the expression that I have on my face, you can tell it transcends me to a good place. It is such a very rich, sophisticated, sexy fragrance. It really is. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the notes in the Boucheron fragrance that I have here. It has lemon verbena, bergamot, lavender, orange basil, mandarin orange, that's orange, then basil, mandarin orange. In the middle notes, you have rose, jasmine, carnation, ylang ylang, lily of the valley, and orris root. And then in your base notes, you have oak moss, vetiver, sandalwood, incense, musk, benzoin, amber, and tonka bean. It is beautifully blended. It is beautifully created. And this one is from 1991 Boucheron. All right, let's go ahead and transition to 1992. 1992, many of you weren't born yet, obviously. I know I have some younger fragrance viewers of mine out there. But in 1992, Ralph Lauren came out with this stellar, hot, sexy fragrance called Safari. Safari for Men by Ralph Lauren. In the main accords, this one is aromatic, it's woody, it's warm, spicy, it's citrus, it's floral, it's herbal, leather, lavender, fresh, spicy, and mossy. This bottle is absolutely beautiful. So now this takes me to, fast forward to now, this reminds me of how some of the cocktail fragrances from Kilian have come out, right? It's got this etching of glass and this detailing of glass in the bottles, similar to the cocktail of Kilian today. This is rich, it's sophisticated. Safari here is considered a signature fragrance. It is considered that you can wear this at any time of the year, okay? For me, I think it leans more fall and winter. Where I live, definitely hotter in this spring and summer for sure. So I see this more as an evening, fall, winter fragrance. Now, could you get away with it in the spring? Sure. But what I would like from the person I'm with wearing it, I would go lighter. I would go lighter. It can be used during the daytime too. I would do one of those spray and walk through type methods. But if you are a heavy sprayer and you want to be present and you want to be seen and you want to be known, then go for it. All right, this is Safari by Ralph Lauren, and it came out in 1992. Let's move on to 1993. Let's move on to another 1992 fragrance that I do not have in my collection, but I have another one that has the same similar DNA. The one that I'm going to talk to you about in 1992 was in a polka dotted bottle. It has burgundy up on the top, black base on the bottom, a gold striping. I know you are guessing it right now, and it is none other than Carolina Herrera for Men. Now that fragrance, whoo, that was another one we could not keep on the shelves. It was a hot commodity. Everyone wanted it. There was no online shopping back then. And let me tell you, as soon as we got our stock in, it was quickly out the door. Carolina Herrera. Now, I have a variation of Carolina Herrera's, and this one's going to be in a future video of mine, but this one is gorgeous. This one has a similar DNA, and I'll talk about this one in the future. But for Carolina Herrera's fragrance, and I'll put a card up here that will show the image of what I'm talking about. This one here is sexy. It's date night worthy. It's romantic. It's hot. The main accords are aromatic, fresh spicy, tobacco, warm spicy, citrus, woody, sweet, lavender, floral, and amber. In the top notes, you have lemon, lavender, rosemary, and neroli. In the middle notes, you have cloves, geranium, clover. And in the base notes, you have tobacco, sandalwood, and ambergris. Whew, this was also 1992, hot, sexy, beautiful fragrance. You can't go wrong with this one if you can get a bottle of it. I'm telling you, Carolina Herrera for Men is still one that I would keep in a collection. It is a nice, sexy fragrance. All right, before we get to 1993, there is another iconic fragrance that everyone is aware of. I have a tiny little bottle. This one here is Nautica. It came out in 1992. All right, let's talk about the main accords for Nautica really quick. Citrus, aromatic, woody, fresh, aldehydic, fresh, spicy, white floral, powdery floral, and warm spicy. This one is just one of those blue fragrances. It takes you back to the beach. It takes you to a time when you want to be light, fresh, and airy. Maybe you just step out of the shower and you want something casual for your day. Nautica is the one. Top notes: aldehydes, lime, bergamot, lemon, neroli, cypress, tarragon, clary sage, coriander, and cinnamon. In the middle notes, you have jasmine, cyclamen, rose, caraway, and geranium. And in the base notes, you have sandalwood, cedar, musk, patchouli, and oak moss, and amber. All right, quick spray. Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. I know we are getting through the decades, and it is a fun, loving experience here. All right, stay with me. We're on 1992 still. It's light, it's airy, it's fresh, it's aquatic, it's aromatic. It's something that's subtle, it's beautiful, and I think anyone can wear it. All right, that one here is Nautica by Nautica. All right, let's go ahead and move on to 1993. 1993, okay. I had on order a bottle of Escape because I didn't have it in my collection and it didn't arrive in time for this video. So I will do an update on that for you. But Escape is one that came out by Calvin Klein in 1992. This one here reminds me of a signature fragrance from one of my dear friends growing up. All right, in the main accords, it is woody, aromatic, fresh, spicy, citrus, aquatic, marine, fruity, ozonic, fresh, and sweet. It is one he never wanted to be without. And when he was out, he would just come and see me and take care of it. It is great for the spring and summer. It's great for the daytime. It is a beautiful, light citrus fragrance, and I just love it so much. All right, in the top notes, melon, eucalyptus, mango, grapefruit, juniper, bergamot. In the middle notes, you have C notes, birch, fir, cypress, rosemary, and sage. And in the base notes, you have oak moss, sandalwood, vetiver, amber, and patchouli. When I said that it is citrus, it has citrus and fresh spicy in your main accords. But I love that green and herbaceousness that you get from all of the notes that are involved. So that one is Escape by Calvin Klein. All right, let's continue on with 1993. You know it's one of my favorites. I've talked about it on my channel before, and it's none other than Egoiste Platinum by Chanel. This one came out, and like I said, it has to be in your collection as a base of staple fragrances, a go-to, an easy reach, something that's hot and sexy, something that's date night worthy. You can take this into so many different places. It's how you wear it, it's how you carry it, it's what you wear with it. You make it your own. This is signature scent. This is a signature fragrance that you can wear at any time of year, any time of day. It is aromatic, fresh, spicy, woody, lavender, green, and herbal. Also coming out, it was launched in 1993, and it is still relevant today. In the top notes, you have lavender, rosemary, neroli, petitgrain. You have geranium, clary sage, galbanum, and jasmine in the middle notes. And in the base notes, you have oak moss, vetiver, cedar, sandalwood, and amber. I have to. This is one I will spray on myself. What can I say? It's Chanel. 1993, still relevant and present today. Get yourself a bottle. Just because you need it. You need it. I said you need it. Oh, so good. It's so good. All right, I'll move on to the next one. All right, we are in 1994 now. 1994. Stay with me. I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end. Oh, and I've decided, okay. So let's stop here for a second. If you're still with me. All right, I need your help. I'm growing my channel. I need you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm starting to become on a regular schedule, so that is important so that you will be notified when my content comes out. I'm telling you, my goal was to reach 300, then 500, then 1,000 in the next couple of months, and I'm really going to need you guys' help. I'm really going to need your help. You're here for a reason. Stay with me, and I promise you, I won't lead you astray. I promise you, I'll lead you in the right direction, and I will educate you on everything that you have a question for me on regarding the fragrances. I promise you, I am here for you. You let me know what you're interested in. I will take care of it for you, and I appreciate you being here. We're moving on. Okay, this one here is iconic Dolce Gabbana 1994. I could not get myself a bottle. It could not come in here in time, and the bottles that were on sale, that from a couple of collectors, was just out of my pocketbook, out of my budget for right now. But let me tell you, in 1994, Dolce Gabbana came out with the Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. Now, the 1994 version is different than the current version that you're able to get your hands on. Now, some of you, like I said, some people have collectors out there who are fragrance sellers, and they have these particular 1994 bottles in their collections that they are selling. But I remember this fragrance very well, and it is similar. People prefer the 1994 version. It was made in Italy. The ones current today, you may have the variation from Germany and from France. Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme currently is still an outstanding fragrance. So if you have it in your collection, good for you. It is beautiful, it is gorgeous, it is handsome, it is sexy, and it is classic. Dolce Gabbana of 1994 is aromatic, citrus, fresh spicy, warm spicy, lavender, woody, sweet, powdery, tobacco, and soft and spicy. In the top notes, you have lavender, lemon, bergamot, clary sage, tarragon, neroli, orange, and mandarin orange. In the middle notes, you have pepper, cinnamon, coriander, geranium, violet, jasmine, and rose. And in the base notes, you have tobacco, tonka bean, sandalwood, musk, amber, coromon, cedar, and iris. That is a gorgeous fragrance, signature, can be worn at any time of year, any time of day. It is a beautiful fragrance that came out in 1994. Now, completely different from that, which was extremely popular in 1994, was none other than Polo Sport by Ralph Lauren. This was another fragrance that we couldn't keep in stock. It was trendy at the time. It was fresh. It was aromatic, and it was taking the competition away from the Nauticas of then. Okay, Polo Sport is aromatic, citrus, fresh, spicy, green, aldehydic, fresh, woody, lavender, marine, and herbal. In your top notes, you have aldehydes, mint, lavender, bergamot, mandarin orange, lemon, arthesma, and neroli. In the middle notes, you have seagrass, ginger, jasmine, geranium, Brazilian rosewood, cyclamen, rose, and then in the base notes, you have musk, sandalwood, cedar, guaiatic wood, and amber. Polo Sport can still be found at some discounters. Now, its competition, another one that came out during that time, was Wings for Men by Giorgio Beverly Hills. That one was in just side-by-side competition with Polo Sport. Some people preferred the sweetness of Wings. Others preferred the light, fresh, out of the shower type feel from Polo Sport. That would be one that I would wear if you were like just finished exercising. I think of someone who's playing soccer and is finished with their tournament, and then they wanted to freshen up and they have this in their gym bag, or they're at the gym and they want to freshen up after the gym. I think of Polo Sport for that. For Wings, it's aromatic, citrus, lavender, fresh, spicy, white, floral, green, amber, herbal, fresh, and floral. In your top notes, you had lavender, green notes, bergamot, neroli, and lemon. In the middle notes, you have jasmine, geranium, clary sage, lily of the valley, and coriander. And in the base notes, you have amber, tonka bean, musk, oat moss, and cedar. They're all beautiful ingredients. You could just take yourself and transcend you back to 1994, and it is a wonderful, sweet, blue type fragrance. I do prefer the Polo Sport to the Wings now, but I know back then, I think I was more of a Wings girl back then. I don't know. I'm trying to remember back in the day. Oh, it was a few years ago. But anyway, so let's go move on to the biggest top selling fragrance of 1994. And it's ridiculous. It was considered controversial at the time because it was the first fragrance to come out and claim to be a unisex fragrance. And that was none other than CK One. And working at the counter, we couldn't keep this in its box. We had so many people walking with this. We would go to organize the shelves and we would find empty boxes because it was just out there. It wasn't in the display case. It wasn't behind, locked. It was very casual fragrance. It was light and airy, and it was inexpensive, budget friendly. And I think they were okay with people, doing what they wanted to do with that. I don't know what their thought process was behind that. But we would find boxes, empty boxes, because people would walk with this fragrance. This is CK One by Calvin Klein, and it can be used by anybody. Oh, it takes me back. It's so good. It's light, it's airy, it's citrus, it's green, has a little bit of a woody note to it. This one here in the main accords also has powdery, aromatic, white floral, fresh, spicy, musky, and it's floral. It's still considered a very likable fragrance today by many standards. It is perfect for that fun in the sun type day. It's springtime, it's summertime, it's during the daytime. This is good. It's 1994, and let me tell you, I know kids of today, and I say kids, friends and Friends of my daughters who are in high school, they are wearing this. They are wearing this. My daughter is wearing this. These high school kids, they absolutely love it, but I think it can be worn for anyone, anybody of any age. I'm going to go ahead and try it out myself. It's just very citrusy. It's beautiful for the spring and summertime. It just brings about a youthful type, not juvenile, but youthful renewal. Spring, the flowers are growing, the grass is growing. We have all this beautiful greenery that's coming back to life after the winter. It is gorgeous. Okay, citrus, green notes, bergamot, pineapple, mandarin orange, cardamom, and papaya. In the middle notes, you have lily of the valley, jasmine, violet, nutmeg, rose, orris root, and freesia. And in the base notes, you have green accord, musk, cedar, sandalwood, oak moss, green tea, and amber. That is CK One, hot seller of 1994. Still relevant today. I'm telling you, seen the kids wear it. Let's move on to another one who tried to steal the competition at the time and came out in 1995. If you were present at that time and you were collecting fragrances and you wanted that perfect scent for your date, this is none other than Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger. You see that? It's such a cute little bottle. All right, in this particular fragrance, you have, it's green, fresh, spicy, citrus, fruity, aromatic. It's fresh, it's lavender, it's powdery and floral. I can see this being a unisex fragrance today. It was launched and considered for men at the time, but you know, times have changed and everybody has always done whatever they wanted. This was another one of those fragrances where I had women buying it for themselves back in the day. So good for them. All right, and this was created none other than my favorite, by Alberto Morillas. He is wonderful. I love all of his fragrances. He's an amazing perfumer. And this one also is recommended for spring and summer, warmer months during the daytime. In your top notes, you have mint. You have mint, bergamot, grapefruit, lavender. In the middle notes, you have Granny Smith, apple, cranberry, and rose. And in the base notes, you have cotton flower, cactus, and amber. I can definitely smell the cactus. It just has that very watery, just a watery type, fresh, green airiness about it. It just does. Oh, it's good. Okay, so let's move on. That one here is similar. Now, if you are someone who adores the Issey Miyake or the La Nuit de l'Homme or Acqua di Gio, this is one that you're gonna love. If you haven't tried it, it's budget friendly. Give it a try, why not? Take yourself back to 1995. 1995 is when this one was launched. You might remember Hugo by Hugo Boss. That was also launched in 1995. And that one was aromatic, fresh, spicy, green, woody, fresh, fruity, lavender, herbal, and citrus. And in the top notes, green apple, mint, lavender, grapefruit, and basil. It had sage, it has geranium and carnation, jasmine, and in the base notes, fir, cedar, and patchouli. I don't have a bottle of Hugo Boss, but I do remember that that was a tough competition with Tommy. Came right out the same time, had the same type of marketing strategy where it was just on a single standing unit. The boxes were out on display where anybody can go grab and test it out. And that was just their marketing strategy at the time. Did it do as well as CK One? No, but did I have a lot of fragrance lovers who preferred it? Yeah, I did. I did. Then there were all of us who just wanted both of them in the collection. You had to have them all. All right, let's move on to 1996. Stay with me. Stay with me. We're almost done. All right. Okay. And I hope you're having fun like I am. For me, this just takes me back to a beautiful time in my life. And if you are currently in the 90s, on the 90s trend now, you're going to enjoy these fragrances. All right. In 1996, Acqua di Gio came out. Wow. I know you're thinking, are you crazy? Are you kidding me? It was that long ago and it's still being sold. It's still one of the #1 sellers of today. That's what happens when they put out quality product like this. And we have so many different variations and flankers now. In my opinion, you need them all. This is citrus, it's aromatic, it's marine, it's fresh, spicy, it's floral, it's woody, it's fresh, and it's still relevant. It is still relevant. It is a staple. It is a signature fragrance. Yes, it leans more towards the hotter months of the year, maybe more so during the day, but I would not disagree if my guy was wearing this on a date. It is good. It is so good. Okay. Launched in 1996, and the top notes are lemon, lime, bergamot, jasmine, orange, orange mandarin, and neroli. In the middle notes, C notes, jasmine, cologne, peach, freesia, hyacinth, cyclamen, rosemary, violet, coriander, nutmeg, and rose. And in the base notes, white musk, cedar, oak moss, patchouli, and amber. Acqua di Gio, the original. 1996, still a classic, still a staple, still one you want in your collection. All right, let's move on to 1997. Ooh, do I remember this coming out? And oh boy, hotness is what I think. Just sexy, hot, confident, stylish, got it all put together kind of guy. This one is Pleasures for Men. Pleasures for Men came out in 1997. The main accords are fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, aromatic, fresh, woody, citrus, aquatic, rose, lavender, and green. Let me tell you, I worked for Clinique before I worked for this fragrance company, and this gave Clinique Happy tough competition, and Clinique Happy didn't come out until a few years later. This was another one we couldn't keep in stock. It is very citrus. I think it's better on the dry down. Definitely better on the skin than off the card. And people still love this one today. It is signature scent. This is classic. This is one also in many people's collection as just an easy reach, a go-to. You can make this office safe. You can make this date night worthy. It is so good. Yes, it leans more spring and summer and daytime, but create whatever experience you want for yourself. In the top notes, it's nectarine, water notes, grapefruit, green notes. In the middle notes, you have lavender, pepper, rose, geranium, ginger, pimento, and coriander. And in the base notes, you have oak moss, ebony trees, sandalwood, and benzoin. That one here was Pleasures by Lauder. Pleasures for Men by Lauder. All right, now we are on 1998. 1998, Contradiction by Calvin Klein. That one came out and didn't do as well as CK One and the other Calvin Klein fragrances, Escape, Eternity, etc. But it was still a very, very good fragrance. It was more of someone who, like, people love Eternity. People loved Escape. People loved CK One. People liked Contradiction. Okay, so for this particular fragrance, it's aromatic, citrus, woody, fresh, spicy, warm, spicy, lavender, musky, powdery, earthy, and soft spicy. In the top notes, you have lime, lavender, lemon, clary sage, mandarin, pepper, cardamom, coriander, nutmeg, and in the base notes, you have vetiver, musk, sandalwood, and ebony wood. That one came out in 1998, 1999. Now, I found both as I was looking through the dates, the launch dates. Some fragrance lines or some fragrance sites say that it came out in 99. Some of them say that it came out in 98. I have it in my 98 spot along with Emporio Armani. Some of you may remember Emporio Armani, and it was a woodsy, mossy fragrance. It had a little bit of a sharper citrus with some floral to it. It was masculine, and it had that iconic wrapper around the box or the bottle. It had that wrapper around it to where you would had to tear it open to get to the box, to get to the cylinder type sprayer. It was really cool. I thought it was just a neat concept for marketing, and it went over very well. People still love it today. It was one that you can wear. It's like a signature fragrance. For me, it leans more evening. For me, it leans more transition, maybe winter to spring or fall to winter. We have come to 1999. Here we go. So, like I said, I worked for Clinique before back in the day. Clinique Happy for Men was the fragrance of the time. 1999, approaching 2000. It was trendy. It was vibrant and orange bottle. For me, I didn't go for it. For me, it wasn't one of my favorites. Does it smell good? Yes. I think because the bottle just seemed, I'm a visual person, it just seemed kind of cheaply made, if I can say that. But the fragrance was still good. It was still a top selling fragrance, and it still is today. People love it because it's just classic. It's an easy reach. It's citrus. It just has a very simplistic nature to it, but it's still good quality. You know, Clinique puts out good quality. So that one has citrus, green, aromatic, marine, and woody in the accords. People absolutely love this fragrance. Still to this day, it is ranked one of the top just traditional fragrances for spring and summer and daytime. In the top notes, you have mandarin orange, lime, C notes, lemon, green notes. Middle notes, you have freesia, jasmine, lily of the valley, and rose. In the base notes, you have cypress, cedar, musk, and guaiatic wood. For $19.99 that I preferred, Bulgari. Bulgari pour Homme. This one here is citrus, fresh, spicy, woody, aromatic, green, fresh, powdery, and warm spicy. In the top notes, it's a love, love, love. People adore this fragrance. It is sexy. It is citrus. It is alluring. It is desirable. It's, I don't know. For me, this is what I would prefer. 1999. And now, Bulgari pour Homme Extreme. In the top notes, this one has tea, grapefruit, bergamot, neroli, petitgrain, coriander, lavender, galbanum. And in the middle notes, you have balsam fir, pepper, guaiatic wood, nutmeg, Brazilian rosewood, and cardamom. And in the base notes, you have musk, cedar, iris, oak moss, and sandalwood. And there's almost, And it's not in here, and I don't know which one is giving that off, but I almost smell like a tobacco, very, very light in the end. It's so good though. I mean, it is really, really high quality fragrance. This one here is Bulgari Extreme pour Homme. All right, everyone, so that wraps up the decade of the 90s. You can't go wrong with any of these in your collection. Find what you prefer most out of these. If you prefer the citrus, light and airy, then go Pleasures, go CK One, go Bulgari, go Acqua di Gio. If you want something more rich and deep and has more depth to it, I would go Safari, or even the peppery fragrance, Still Sexy by Carolina Herrera for men. And if you want something blue, technically it wasn't launched in the 90s, but it was still so relevant in the 90s, and that was Cool Water for men. All right, everyone. Thank you for staying with me on this long journey through the 90s, and I will see you back in the next one. Comment below which ones are your ultimate favorite 90s fragrances. Tell me which ones you're still wearing today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and I'll see you back in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace and love. Bye.